Her name was Beauty, a young lady, humble at heart, yet ravishing as a queen. Her dark brown skin glowed in the golden sunset as she swayed gently on the swing. Her full afro, 14 inches of natural glory, framed her face like a crown. From the entrance of the mansion, her stepfather Delay stood watching. His hands rested in his pockets, his face shadowed with envy and desire. To the world, Beauty's grace was admired. To him, her radiance was a torment he could neither own nor silence. Inside the mansion, Sophia sat quietly at her sewing machine. She was elegant, beautiful, and ageless, though her spirit had grown weary. Once, she had been a rising fashion designer, but marriage to Delay had silenced her, burying her gifts beneath his pride. Her hands trembled on the fabric. Delay stormed into the room and snatched a sketch from her hand, tearing it apart without a word. Sophia lowered her head in tears. From the doorway, Beauty watched. Her fists tightened, her chest rose and fell, her eyes burning with silent defiance. Later that day, a sharp crash echoed through the dining room. A young maid had dropped a tray, glass shattering across the floor. She fell to her knees, trembling, whispering apologies. Delay stormed in, his pride swelling. Even the innocent felt the sting of his cruelty. He seized the broom, smashed it against the wall, and hurled money at her. "Pick it up," he thundered. "That's all you're worth." The maid sobbed as she gathered the money. At the doorway, Beauty saw everything. Her eyes narrowed, her heart aching with anger, but she remained still. Night fell, and the mansion grew quiet. Whenever his wife was not in sight, Delay would prowl the house like a hunter looking for Beauty. This time, he caught her in the corridor. His cologne filled the air as he pressed close, his voice low and sly. "You know you're beautiful, right?" he whispered. "I can give you anything you want." Beauty's chest rose and fell. Her voice trembled, but it stayed firm. "You are my mother's husband. It is wrong. I will never betray her." Fury blazed in Delay's eyes as his hand twitched angrily by his side. But Delay would not let her go so easily. His footsteps echoed through the house as he chased after her, his voice sharp with rage. Beauty clutched her wrapper, heart pounding, and darted down the dark corridor. She pressed herself against the pillar, her breath trembling. Shadows swallowed her, but her eyes stayed steady. Delay stormed past, muttering angrily, knocking over a stool in his fury. "Beauty, you cannot hide from me," he snarled. The house fell silent for a moment. Then Delay's voice thundered again. "If you cannot learn to obey me," he spat, flinging the door wide, "then get out. Come back only when you are ready to listen." He hurled her into the cold night, the door slamming shut behind her. Beauty stood barefoot on the hard ground, clutching her wrapper, the sting of rejection heavy in her chest. Yet even then, her spirit did not bow. From the shadows, area boys emerged, their faces hard. But strangely, they stepped aside, clearing her path as though unseen hands restrained them. At last, she curled beneath a bridge. Trucks rumbled overhead as she prayed softly, her courage her only blanket. Later that night, her mother, Sophia, arrived with 2 police officers. She found Beauty there, still under the silent protection of the boys who had watched over her. With relief and tears, she gathered her daughter and took her home. Meanwhile, Dele's reckless life caught up with him. One night in a nightclub, surrounded by women and drink, his laughter turned to chaos. His body slumped, lifeless. News spread quickly. Dele was dead. But instead of peace, Sophia and her children faced shame. In the mansion, Dele's relatives stormed in, shouting accusations of poison. Fingers pointed, voices rose, and in the fury, they were dragged out. Their belongings were tossed after them, scattered at the gate. Sadly, instead of freedom came disgrace. Stripped of wealth, the family was cast into the street. With nowhere else to turn, Sophia took her children to her village. There, she set down a battered old sewing machine. She looked at them with new fire in her eyes. "I may have been silenced before," she said softly, "but not anymore. God gave me these hands. With them, we will rise." And rise they did. The hum of the sewing machine became the heartbeat of their new life. Sophia sewed gowns with patience and grace. Beauty modeled them with joy, her afro glowing like a crown, her beauty reborn as hope. One afternoon, Beauty lifted her phone and snapped a picture. She stood tall in one of Sophia's gowns, vibrant Ankara prints, a red, green, and gold gleaming in the light. She typed a caption, "Elegance is timeless, designed by Sophia." When she posted it, likes began to multiply, messages flooded in. Orders came from Lagos, Abuja, and even across the sea. What the world had tried to bury became the platform for their rising. From ashes, a new name spread like wildfire. Soon, Sophia's name was celebrated again. In Lagos, her fashion studio buzzed with tailors, fabrics, and customers. She walked with confidence, her silence broken at last. Beauty managed the online orders, her fingers flying over her phone. Customers left smiling with their gowns in hand. Sophia, once silenced, now reigned in her gift. And Beauty, her humble crown, gave wings to the dream. One evening, Beauty jogged through the estate. Her afro bounced with each step, her beauty radiant yet simple. Kunle, a young businessman in a flowing agbada, passed by while on the phone. But when his eyes caught Beauty, he stopped. Without a word, he removed his agbada and joined her run. Day after day they met again. Their laughter grew, their glances lingered, and friendship blossomed into love. The drums of Afrobeat thundered in a grand hall. Beauty walked hand in hand with Kunle, her beaded lace gown dazzling under the lights. Sophia, radiant in her own design, led her children in dance.
The room shook with joy. Beauty smiled, fearless, humble, radiant as a queen. She had survived betrayal, rejection, and shame. Now she stood crowned in dignity.